Yo!
Yayo Talk Show!
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Molly.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Marco.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Katie.
Dreamin'!
Al's name didn't fit. They talk about the show, this group of four friends been going for 1,000,000 years, there's no end. Watching every arc and saga, no sleep. It's the king of anime, 1,000 episodes deep.
Yayo Talk Show!
Talking about One Piece.
It's the name of the podcast.
We're not on Vine. Yayo Talk Show. Talking about
One Piece.
What's up, wenches, privateers, and non-binary buccaneers? Welcome aboard the most chaotic One Piece podcast on the Grand Line internet. Yeah, I kind of understand why you feel weird about saying that every time. But you know what? We're doing it for posterity. We're going to do it every single time. But you know what? Let's... All right, so let's introduce you to the crew because, of course, we got to get that out of the way first. So let's do it. All right, first up is the captain of the Crew No Pirates, Molly D. Simpy.
Hey, it's Kdin's episode today. Hey.
And next up is the Laughborg, Al McClelland.
It's me!
And of course, how
I'm
could
not
we
funny.
possibly forget the internet's gentleman, Mark B. Donica. And the B is for Bonesman.
Yo!
I love it. See, we would have never gotten that if Mark had done the intro for this one. That was so
Absolutely
good,
true.
by the way. That was so
Absolutely
good.
true.
It was so good. And I am Wild Theorist Kdin Jensen. And again, welcome to Yayo Talk Show. We're here again. The reason I'm doing in the intro is because we're going to be talking about a specific arc of One Piece that hit me in all the best ways. And I know everybody's going to be thinking about it in the way that's like, ha ha ha, of course Kdin likes this one. You have no idea why I like it. Don't worry, sit down, you'll find out later. But first, I have to ask, how we doing on how we doing on the apps and the podcasty platforms, Mark?
Oh, if you're talking about like iTunes and the multiple places you can find us, if you're listening to us now, thank you first of all, but also tell your friends that you can find us on podcast platforms around the globe, including iTunes, Spotify. Tell your tell your friends that you however they want to listen to podcasts, you can find us. If there's such a demand for YouTube, we'll get there eventually. But if you're on iTunes specifically, and if you could leave us a review, that would be great. That increases visibility, lets people know that we're around and sailing around in the ocean blue. 100% different song. But
Yeah.
Make sure, leave us a review. We'll read them on air. We don't have any new ones now, but by the next show, hopefully we will, so we can shout you all out. If you're in a non-US iTunes store and you have left us a review and shucks, they haven't read it on air yet, we can't see those. So please leave us a tweet at Yayo Talk Show and of a screenshot of your review. We'll read it and shout you out like a proper bow. So thank you everybody for who's listened so far. We're trying to keep the crew, keep the Grand Fleet, or keep the not the Grand Fleet, that's something else. Keep the fleet going and growing.
No, they don't have fleets
you.
anymore on Twitter.
Oh, that's true. They did get rid of fleets. So
Hooray!
We did it. We did it, everyone.
We
did it. Our one contribution to the internet as a whole so far. Actually, no. Aside from our dumb theme song, it's getting rid of fleets. But yes, if you're on iTunes, please leave us a review. We'll read it on air and follow us on Twitter.
You can also just message, tweet at us and say nice things, and we'll read those too.
There is that, but specifically for iTunes, so that people can find the show, please leave us iTunes reviews.
Yes,
even if
please.
it's just a star rating, it'll help us out a lot.
Tell your grandparents. They won't know what they're listening to, but it's fine. Maybe they'll like One Piece.
Tell your grandparents that there's a cast member that. That'll make them laugh, and that's the Laughborg.
They'll really
All right.
appreciate that Mark bleeps out all of our swears.
Yes, no, family-friendly show. Like, not the content, but in terms of swears, I get rid of those. That's...
You were wingmanning for
Hello? I have no idea what you're talking about. Molly, post the video. This is weeks away, but Molly, post the video.
We will. I have to edit the audio so we don't lose our entire account.
No, it's fine.
I don't want to risk it on it. It's fine. I like our account.
I like Molly's audience. Molly's direct audience is Gen Z, and people over the age of 77.
Yo, that's a unique demo. You know,
It really.
somebody's got to hit that.
The 7-10 split of demos.
The funniest part in that video is that you can see my laptop stickers in the frame, and there are 2 grandpas on my laptop.
Molly, no, they're not.
Yeah.
And on the table is a Werther's original.
Under a box with a that you just hit a stick and it'll just trap them.
No, it's in that pretty candy bowl that when you open it up to grab one, they're all stuck together.
the whole Simpsons thing where Bart reaches in to grab a peppermint and it's a ball of peppermint.
Yes, it's that. Which is super real, by the way. My grandparents also had one of those, and it was just like I was so determined to get sweets, I would pick away at it with a butter knife and just take whatever broke off.
All right. We got to talk before we get into things. Let's limber up a little bit. What's your favorite old?
Are we not fresh?
Let's. What's your favorite old person candy? Do you like the little root beer barrels? Do you like the vaguely that looks like a strawberry but doesn't really taste like a strawberry thing? Do you like
the little the old things you would get in the candy where it's the wrapping like a strawberry? Oh, those are good.
Oh, those are good.
The thick chalky pepperminty things, or do you like the Werther's originals?
Okay, I apologize in advance. The Sugar Daddy is a pretty good candy.
Yeah.
Don't apologize.
I legitimately was taking a drink and it came out my nose.
Sugar Daddy.
Al's the fan of a Sugar Daddy.
Dude, we should get sponsored by them. We talk about daddy so much.
Yeah, you know what?
It's just a block of caramel. That's all it is. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
I'll be real with you. I think the Sugar Daddy's a little bit big. I like the Sugar Babies. They're a little bit better.
Have they introduced the Sugar Zaddy yet? For the millennials?
Oh God.
No, listen, they know their audience, Mark, and it's not for the youth, it's for the old.
Yeah. It would be to be honest, if it was for the
Yeah.
It was for the youth. It would definitely be a Tumblr sexy man, and it would just have a picture of Loki on it, but various forms of Loki.
Sans,
of course.
Sans from Undertale.
Sans from Undertale.
And not even just Sans, but it would say the whole phrase Sans from Undertale.
And it would be in comics. It would be in Comic Sans.
It has to be.
Sugar himbos.
And of course, you can't forget Onceler, both young and old. Very important.
Mm-hmm.
Young Oncelers on the Sugar Babies, and old Oncelers on the Sugar.
In case anybody cares, I enjoy a nice toffee every once in a while.
Ooh, toffee's good.
Toffees are good.
That's a classic.
You like a saltwater taffy?
I do like taffy, but I don't count that as old people candy because it's hard
Because
to
it's
eat
ancient.
without.
Older than old people.
Sometimes it's hard to eat without teeth. Is all you know.
Yeah, but you suck on it a little bit and you gum it.
The old gods are like, oh, y'all got taffy?
I can see that. I just feel like taffy's for the youth, but I'll give them that. I like taffy, but I don't think of it as an old person taffy.
No person on the planet has ever said taffy is for the youth.
Taffy is for the youth is like something that a discredited politician would say.
I'm like, okay.
Holy.
No, it's the children who are wrong.
Yeah.
I look at Laffy Taffy's like whole aesthetic, and I don't think old people. I think like kids on skateboards who are like radical.
Yeah, they're old now.
I've never seen anyone but somebody over the age of 30 go into a gas station and be like, ooh, Laffy Taffy. People look, it's on the bottom of the shelf, and everybody's looking, it's like, nobody wants that. Nobody wants
It's not something I go and get at the gas station. It's something I get when I trick or treat. As a 31-year-old.
I was going to say, would you specifically trick or treat?
When you specifically trick or treat.
When I, Molly Flood, go take to the streets once a year.
Molly, what are you going as for Halloween this year?
That's a great question.
A Stan Pine simp.
Yeah, I feel like I have enough grandpa clothes now. I've got more like in the mail, so
You just need a fez.
I do have a really good femme dipper costume that I still have all the pieces for.
That I call Paper Jam Dipper.
Meow, 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 meow.
There's a great caramel shop at Epcot that makes like fresh caramel. So I would have to say Werther's Originals to answer the question.
That's very good.
Oh,
I
so
like
good.
I like the root beer barrels. They're a little bit
classic.
They're not that sweet in comparison. I'm honestly not that into sweets in general. I like things a little bit savory, a little bit spicy. I need salt on my candy. it's like the Bev Big Head voice. Oh, Rocco, I love you so much, Rocco.
I think I can handle all candies except for spicy candies.
What's spicy?
Hey,
And I
remember when Rocco was a sex phone worker?
Yes,
Yeah, dude.
yes, I do.
Oh
for
baby,
him.
oh baby, oh baby.
And Mr. Big Head was trying to keep Rocco's dog Spunky out of his wife's tuna bushes. These are real things that actually happened. Anyway, we're talking about One Piece. Welcome to the next arc, everybody.
What an adventure we've been on. Great episode, everybody.
Hey crew, we wanted to take a moment to remind you that sex isn't binary and gender is a spectrum. We would also like to note that some scenes referenced in this episode are purely discussed in the context of how they are shown and presented in this arc of One Piece and the Amazon's reaction to that. Like other aspects of early One Piece sagas and arcs, some of the subject matter is not handled very well. So we here at Yayo Talk Show wanted to let you know that trans rights are human rights, intersex people aren't broken, and men, women, and non-binary people do not owe anyone masculinity, femininity, or androgyny.
To completely shift the mood of everything, last time we saw the Straw Hats, we didn't. They were all completely yeet us across the entire ocean because Kuma...
Yeet us across the Cetus.
They yeet us across the Cetus. Kuma says that, you know what? You'll never meet again. You'll never meet me again. And then just vanishes all of them, leaving Luffy for last and giving him that last little bit. And the Straw Hat Pirates were completely and utterly annihilated. So like 15 minutes later, we catch up to Luffy flying through the air. And he's flying, they're all flying through the air for several days, just for context. But I'm going to put an addendum here, and we've decided this as a crew. We will not be talking about the rest of the crew until closer to the end of, this whole saga, because it ties in better that way. So right now, welcome to The Luffy Show, starring Luffy and new friends. Lots of new friends. And maybe some old ones. But we'll get to the old ones, not this episode. Next episode, we'll talk about old friends. This episode's all about new friends. So Luffy's flying through the air, and he finds himself landing in the middle of a jungle. And remember, he now has Rayleigh's Viva card. So he can find himself a path back to Sabaody. But Luffy is Luffy, and he's on an island with no ship, which means, what are you going to do? He's not going to swim. He'll sink. He'll die. That's it. And the show's over. It can't end at episode 408. There's still 987 episodes.
Some animes do.
Not One Piece.
And those are cowards.
Not One Piece. So Luffy kind of just exists on this little island for a while, and he finds some meat. It's alive at the time. Then it's not, so he eats it. Cool. After he kills it, normal thing. And he's still hungry because he's Luffy, and then he eats some mushrooms.
Dude, okay, real quick, I love mushrooms. And
Molly?
What?
Hot tip, don't eat random mushrooms.
Well, I'm not eating random mushrooms. Like, I just had pizza earlier and they had mushies on it.
Mark, Al, mushrooms? Yay, nay.
Oh, man. Is this it? Is this how we divide the crew?
Well, for me, my wife is allergic to mushrooms, so I've kind of sympathy avoided them.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
But
that stinks.
I don't mind them so much, but I haven't had them in a while, and I don't miss them either. But truffles are good, which those are kind of mushrooms, right?
Those are mushrooms, yeah.
Sort of enough. Yeah, that's fine.
Mushrooms are fine. I don't actively seek them out. They're not prime pizza topping for me. But
Wow.
if they're in stuff, they're good. But like, yeah.
So like
Cool.
Kdin?
cremini mushrooms and portobello mushrooms are actually the same mushroom. I don't know if y'all knew that.
I
It's
did.
just
Uh-huh.
like 2 stages of the same one.
What?
Yep.
What? For somebody who doesn't eat mushrooms, you sure know a lot about them, Al.
I mean, I worked in a kitchen for a bit, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your friends close and your enemies closer, you know.
yeah,
Kdin,
I
mushrooms?
have to know a lot about them.
Yay, nay?
Me, mushrooms? Dirt orbs. I hate them.
Orb?
On the
Dirt
spectrum
orbs.
to loves them to dirt orbs, where are you gonna tag yourself?
Don't forget to add us on Twitter with your hot takes on mushrooms. Do you call them dirt orbs like I do, or do you love
No
them?
context. I'm about to tweet dirt orbs, yay or nay.
Make it a poll. Make it a poll.
Make it a poll. Make it a poll.
Okay, cool. No,
Don't give them a maybe option or what is a dirt orb.
Hold on. Dirt orbs, yeah yo or yeah no?
Yeah,
No.
no.
Yeah,
There
no.
it is. Do not
Okay,
give them a
good.
medium option. You yes or no this. There is.
See you in a month.
Wow. I love that every episode. I love that every episode I find a way to derail us for like 20 minutes, and I guess this is it.
This is
I
a
love
7-day
mushrooms.
poll.
I think I like them. I eat them in
You waited
risottos.
7 days?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's when. That's when.
Listen, we got to make sure everybody. We got to make sure everybody has a chance. People could be working right now. They might not know.
I'm gonna make this our pinned tweet too.
Fantastic. Wonderful. So while we're talking about mushrooms being absolutely awful and terrible and don't eat them, Luffy eats the mushrooms and they turn out to be horrible parasites that poison him and start to murder him from the inside out. Fantastic. Great.
Listen,
Don't worry. This island is inhabited. Young lady finds Luffy and then thinks, oh well, he's a small little lad. Probably a little wee child from the village, takes Luffy back, starts treating him, and then all of a sudden, they're just like, this Luffy person seems a bit odd, just a bit quirky and weird. And then the oldest member of the village comes in and is like, what the hell is happening here? And goes, oh my God, that's a man. And everybody goes, what?
You're missing the part where they're like,
the twist is that it's an island of only women.
But also, this whole scene that's happening is them removing the mushrooms that are growing on Luffy's face, and they get to one.
I
They're
was
like,
very much trying to avoid that.
no, we can't. We're just gonna have to address it. They're like, there's this one that like won't come off. It like every time I pull, like it extends. That's weird, and it's just Luffy's pee-pee. But they don't know what pee-pees are because it's all women.
That's not the thing. Is it's not true. It's just they're unfamiliar. They're more unfamiliar because they do know. It's not in their usual repertoire of knowledge.
What is Peepus?
Oh God.
What the hell are you two talking about?
What is Peepus? What Peepus?
Anyway, and that is our introduction.
Can we have
to...
another poll?
No.
Peepus, yeah, yo, or yeah, no.
No, Molly.
Yeah, no.
Nyon like this Peepus.
Anyway, welcome to Amazon Lily, everyone. It is an island of only women, and it is run by the Kuja Amazon tribe, which are also the some really they're the Kuja pirates as well. There's a specific subset of the Kuja tribe that are Kuja pirates, but the Kuja pirates kind of like oversee this as the I guess the government of the island, sort of. It's not really super clear, honestly, how the hierarchy of everything kind of comes into play here. It's just like, yeah, you're the leader now, I guess. That's kind of how this happens. It's all by strength, actually. But they really don't go into that much either. Anyway, Amazon Lily is great. It's an island of only women, and very quickly they just arrest Luffy. It's because they're just like, well, this one's weird. So they throw him in a cage. But Luffy also doesn't really care. He's just like, this is fair. That's fair. They don't know who I am. They can't trust me. That's fine.
Why am I naked?
Marguerite, tosses Luffy some clothes, and it turns out that the Amazons are kind of split on what to do with Luffy. A good chunk of them are just like, he's fine. He's not bad. Don't worry about him. He seems a friendly sort. And the other one's just like, yeah, but like the law of the land is, first of all, stranger. Second of all, strange man. So kind of got to murder him.
Stranger Dangerman.
They kind of actually go back and forth about whether they need to kill him or not. Marguerite learns that Luffy's a pirate.
What?
I feel like I feel like we did cover that. Maybe.
Are you
once.
sure? Maybe.
I think so.
Okay.
I think we mentioned it.
Play
I just
the theme song real quick. Is it in there? Anywhere in there?
Yo.
Just real quick.
So this is when Marguerite and Luffy kind of bond a little bit. They bond a little bit. They forge a little bit of trust, and she starts telling him about Amazon Lily and how it came to be a little bit, and who's in charge, which is Amazon Lily's Empress, who we heard a little bit about closer to the end of blah blah blah. My brain. Somebody help me. What was the arc?
ShaBooty?
No, it was before
Thriller
ShaBooty.
Bark.
Thriller
Thriller
Bark. At the end of Thriller Bark, they name dropped Boa Hancock, and that's the Empress of Amazon Lily, the pirate Empress Boa Hancock, and she's in command of the all-female pirate crew, which is the Kucha Pirates.
Mhm.
And Boa Hancock is on her way back to the island after going out into sea to do, warlord business. Because that's what the warlords do. Warlord business. Actually, what do the warlords do?
Guess what? Basically, they get paid by the government to be like, don't mess with the government, or the Marines rather. But also, like, you, by extending of our friendship, can do whatever. But you just can't mess with the Marines.
They're like privateers.
Yeah, occasionally the Marines are like, all right, we need you. We need some muscle to help us out, do something here. So you're going to come bitching and moaning. Doesn't matter. You got to help us because that's what our accord is. And if you don't, then you lose all your privileges. They get healthcare, basically.
Publicly known undercover cops. So not very
Yeah.
good undercover cops.
Yeah, especially in like Crocodile's case.
Yeah.
But he was at least like, when they check in, I feel like with him, he was like, yeah, everything's going. Oh man, it's the sandstorm is going on. The connection's breaking up, but everything's good. Okay, bye. And like was like nailed it. And no one ever looked too closely at what he was up to. He was also like, God, I'm trying to think. How many were all the warlords in Paradise? None of them were in the Blues. It was Paradise until things that happened in the future. So yeah, all the warlords were in this. Yeah, never mind. He was the first warlord. He was like the most outreached, the farthest away from Marineford.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Marineford?
Marineford.
Marineford.
Marine Fjord.
Fjord.
We talking Mihawk, right?
Oh, well, he was in the Blues.
Mihawk was in the Blues.
So he was the first.
He's got the blues.
Mihawk just again, there's so much like happening at this point. Like we've met several warlords at this point. Boa Hancock is just another in the list of them. We met Mihawk, we met Crocodile, Moria, Kuma, and I think Hancock is the fifth one that we're meeting. I don't know if we've met any of the others so far. Oh,
we have
the flamingo guy.
Oh, Don Quixote, Don Flamingo.
Yeah, Do Flamingo.
Do Flamingo.
Gecko Moria, Kuma, Hancock. Yeah, so essentially everybody that you mentioned and the other one. And it feels like a rotating chair of like certain people being like, oh, once the government finds out, oh, what they're doing sucks, we should arrest them.
Right. which means that they basically, it's like Crocodile they had that conversation about Crocodile getting removed, and then they said Blackbeard was going to be subbing in for him. It's like
Subbing in.
yeah, it's like the pitch hitter. I don't know anything about sports, but I'll use that as a reference, and then we'll see if
Sure.
that worked or not.
Accurate.
Sure. You got to be on the team to be the pitch hitter. He's more like he's
on the bench. It's just like it's like they used him to fill up the numbers, but then they didn't expect to call him, and they're just like, oh well.
That guy went Here's a real sports analogy. That guy went from the minor league baseball team to suddenly becoming the pitch hitter. There you go.
Okay, cool. There you go. All right, that makes more sense for people who know sports. I still don't know what that means. Anyway.
Yeah, but we've met everybody except we've met everyone and we know everyone except for Flamingo. We just kind of have gotten like a quick glimpse, and you're like, ugh, I hate this guy's vibes.
Right. And that's actually important information. And I'm glad we're talking about that.
The vibes?
Not just the vibes, the whole warlord thing, because everything that's happening, this whole arc starts two kind of converging storylines. And it's Boa Hancock's story and Luffy's story. Luffy's trying to get back to Sabaody. That's his whole purpose from the outset of Amazon Lily is I got to get back. I got to get back to Rayleigh. I got to get back to Sabaody. The whole point is he's trying to get off of Amazon Lily, make a raft. Marguerite helps him build a raft at one point to help him get off
The island.
the island. Come on! They know. When you qualify it, it makes it dirty.
I just calmed down from Peepus, and now this is the ordeal of Al saying
What
balls all over
Peepus?
again. Peepus. The
But-
ordeal of Molly hearing the word Peepus.
But this whole Amazon Lily thing is basically like the converging of two plot lines that had no idea that they were coming to a head, because through this whole thing, Boa Hancock has been approached by Vice Admiral Momonga and the Marines to travel with them to. She's the last holdout for the warlords. Everybody else is headed for Marie-Joie. Everyone else is headed for Marie-Joie, and they're preparing for an all-out war with, drumroll please, Whitebeard. Everybody knew it was coming.
All I've got is this.
Yay! Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Everything's fine.
Nothing happened.
God dang it!
I mean,
It was a rim shot.
what?
But
We also start learning. We also start learning a little bit about.
you want
This one's important. We also learn through Hancock about something that will be important for the rest of forever. There is this superpower that certain people have. Some people have it in abundance, and some people have to hone it better. It is called hockey. And hockey is this, this overwhelming, relenting force. It's something that we
On
saw
ice. I'm sorry.
I understand why Mark hates us.
Not
Why?
nobody. I hate nobody here.
Why?
Peepus.
Peepus?
Peepus.
Are you there, Peepus?
Are you there, Peepus? It's me.
What would Peepus do?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh
The joke the Peepus is too funny.
I'm not going back to jail.
So through Boa Hancock in this, we learn about hockey. We learn that Rayleigh had been using hockey. That's when back on Sabaody. And basically Hancock is the holdout for this whole everybody going to do the battle in Marie-Joie. And she basically says no and uses Mero Mero no Mi, which is her devil fruit, to petrify all the Marines, because Boa Hancock is so ridiculously hot that everybody immediately gets love struck by her. And your impure thoughts will allow her devil fruit to turn you into stone. And that's kind of the whole
Is this a personal account or?
Listen, we learn later that it does not affect Luffy, period.
Or me.
It doesn't.
I'll give.
Or Momonga for that matter.
Oh, well, it does, but he stabs himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, no.
Uses the pain.
Hold on. I need to not be infatuated for 2 seconds.
He's like, I know how to
Good
not
luck.
be horny. Stabs self.
So this whole arc basically comes to this. It's very back and forth. it's very like we see things from Hancock's perspective, we see things from Luffy's perspective, and it bounces back and forth between the two of them. Hancock gets back to the island and decides to take a bath. Because when you're out at sea for a while, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to have a bath, you want to have a banquet. Makes sense.
When you're out on the water, but you can't biv, you...
Well, listen.
What?
The bathtub on the ship is different than the entire sauna that Boa Hancock and her sisters have at the palace.
Yo,
I know.
straight up, like to have that sort of a setup, how can you not like instantly be like, no, I'm going over there
Immediately. It's like it's such a it's like going to a hotel and it's just like, oh yeah. And it's like this is a nice, it's a different bathroom.
bringing
it's like
soap to the pool.
Exactly. But Boa Hancock and her sisters, who are ginormous, like she's really tall.
Big.
Like Hancock is ridiculously tall, and then her sisters, Sandersonia and Marigold, are even bigger, which is awesome. Large women.
Women.
Love it. Love that. Love it. By the way, most of the women on Amazon Lily are huge, but not all of them. And this is where like One Piece decides to do the thing that I like the most that One Piece does, which is body sizes, shapes, and everything. They just kind of go all over the place. And it's just like it's very diverse on Amazon Lily.
Mhm.
We've had this conversation before about women character designs in this show and how it kind of goes off on men, but most women look the same. This is like aside from like God, what's her name? Alvida.
Yeah, but that
That
let's get
fixes
rid of that
itself
right
real
now.
fast.
And the Merry Christmas in
Miss Merry
Alabasta.
Christmas.
Yeah,
And
it's like
there's a couple of other characters like
There's a
getting
few.
closer to modern day, but yes, it's still very much a
but this is like the first
one
time
design fits all.
he actually like went off on like actual women character designs, like an entire like village. Everybody can't just be a copy and paste of Nami. Like they all gotta, and it's like really fun. Like I love all the designs in this arc.
It's pretty decent. Like it's a pretty varied, even with like the background characters. Like it's not perfect, I will say. It is absolutely not perfect. There's definitely like some, head tilty, moments here and there in One Piece. Still, I'm still in the head tilty parts
You're right.
sometimes, but even so, like considering the fact that a lot of anime don't even try to adventure outside of, it's just like characters that look like Nami. The fact that there's an entire island of just like, let's have fun with it for a little bit. That's cool. I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. Luffy's Luffy. And through a series of unfortunate events, he ends up crashing into the whole whole bathhouse. Yeah. And then he sees something that he shouldn't see.
A lady.
A woman.
He sees the Hancock sister secret, which is
Beast with one back.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Shakespeare reference, but different.
It's yeah, I do.
Yeah.
No, yeah, sure. It's Shakespeare.
mean,
Different.
The first thing is different.
Al's built different.
I was thinking of the black spot in Pirates of the Caribbean, but that still is a Shakespeare reference. Out damn spot.
Yep.
Casual. Just gonna casually drop that.
So, and this kind of ties everything that we just experienced on ShaBooty together here. The Boa sisters, they have a brand on their back, which means that they were slaves back on ShaBooty and sold when they were children. We learn a little bit about their backstory, which is horrifying, absolutely horrifying. Truly terrifying and just awful in every single way, shape, and form. It was just the worst. And as per usual, Luffy decides, let's just fight.
Well,
let's solve everything.
You're missing some context here.
There's important stuff here.
Yeah,
but I'm
it's-
trying to get to the point of it so we can like go backwards a little bit.
Yeah,
'cause-
but it's like the whole setup for us is that Luffy falls into the bath. We're assuming that what he sees is her naked.
which
And-
Luffy wouldn't care about anyway.
Exactly, but
Let's
the whole
be
setup
real.
before is that why everybody had to vacate the bathhouse is that Boa and her sisters have, like something on a Gorgon eye that will turn everyone to stone if you see them naked. So that's why they get to bathe alone. So Luffy sees
The
what's on
palace
her
is
back.
vacated. They put up all
Yeah.
these like tarps
Yeah.
outside.
Luffy clearly doesn't turn to stone. Something's not right. The immediate response to this happening is getting thrown into like a gladiator style arena where Luffy and the people who helped him on the island must like recompense for their transgression. And sadly, the women who helped Luffy get turned to stone. And of course, that fuels Luffy for like, it's not their fault. So Luffy fights. Luffy's fighting the Gorgon sisters. He realizes that what's on their backs, though, is very important and they don't want it to be seen. And in the middle of learning about hockey and fighting these Gorgon sisters, one of the sisters' backs get exposed. And instead of continuing the fight, Luffy jumps on her back to hide the signal, like the whatever is on her back from the audience, and they clear out. And that's like this whole fight too. Like Boa is doing like her normal bullshit, which is just like her being like, it's like, oh, I kicked a puppy, but you'll forgive me, won't you? And everyone's like, we'll forgive you forever.
She just doesn't care. It's not even like I'm going to do this and you're going to forgive me. She's just like, what the hell is in my way? Wow, punt. And she just punts cute animals out of her way.
And everyone's like, yeah. But then they're like, you punted a cute animal. And she's like, but you'll forgive me, won't you? And they're like, of course we'll forgive you. And this whole fight, she's saying shit to like Luffy. And Luffy's like, shut up. Like Luffy is like the first person ever not to react to her in general and to her devil fruit. So she's like, oh no, this guy's different. And then when that happens, they're like, all right, everybody clear out. We'll tell this guy. I've come to a decision. This guy seems okay.
Can I wanted to bring up, I promised, I could have sworn that there was not going to be any more instances of this.
You're gonna say it, aren't you? You're gonna say the words. You're gonna say his name.
Of course I'm going to say the words. I forgot. Like I watched a little recap of the thing, and when Hancock goes to turn Luffy to stone in the bathhouse, makes a shape with her hands, says the incantation, so to speak, and Luffy goes, "Oh no, I'm going to get slower. I'm getting slower." And it's like, oh,
the beams.
And we like. I won't say his name, but I like how Luffy has like.
Just don't say it 3 times.
Has almost approximate knowledge of many things, where he's like, he just remembers stuff differently. He remembers different.
But he also, this is like, Luffy's applying. He's applying for the first time. Like, I remember this from way long ago. This could be similar to my experience. And it's like, good for you.
Like, oh no, there's more of them.
I mean, technically, it's just like, okay, well, this is another beam thing. I'll probably get, it's like, he's not smart enough to deduce that, okay, there's only one slow fruit. But still, at the it's like, I need to prepare for the thing that's about to happen to me. And then nothing happens. He's like, okay, wait, what was supposed to happen?
It's broken.
I didn't love Luffy before. This is where I'm like, Luffy is Ace. And I love this. As in, not Ace's brother, but...
Not the character Ace, but Ace on the LGBTQA.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Plus. Yeah. But yeah.
So there's something else important that happens here. And this is one of those things that it doesn't seem important at the time because it's almost like, oh, its main character has extra ability thing. Luffy is determined to have base hockey. Like he has hockey just to spare. And that's kind of one of the things that he's used several times without knowing that he's used it before.
Innate.
Yeah, it's just he's one of those people with lots of it, an abundance of it, but it's not just hockey. He has Haoshoku hockey, which is basically this overwhelming willpower that kind of like
Emperor's hockey.
It topples others. It's like, oh, look, you have hockey? Well, I have hockey squared. And it's like, I have double hockey.
Well, there's like
Here's
There's this-
HE double hockey sticks.
this is a perfect time to explain hockey because you can't just have hockey. There's different types of hockey.
Right.
Yeah. So there's the king of them all, the king of all the hockeys is the emperor hockey, which
Right.
is very
Our
rare.
Shoku. Right.
Yeah, very, very rare. Not everybody has it. And that is where we've seen people fainting and getting foamed at the mouth and like it's kind of like I had a good comparison.
A willpower explosion.
Yeah.
It should be noted that the reason that Hancock can recognize it is because that's what she has. That's how she's able to kind of like understand what it is and that's why she calls it out specifically. Like she makes a note to be just like, well, that's weird. I've seen other people use hockey, but not quite as like this, like me. It's very unfamiliar.
Well, it was also pointed out by somebody in the crowd too, which shows just like how educated and how plugged into the world, despite being on the comm belt, the Kuja pirates are.
Yeah, I mean they hang out with Boa Hancock. Boa Hancock keeps everybody informed. There's a newsletter. It's the weekly
God.
hockey newsletter.
A zine.
Man.
There's a hockey zine.
The hockey zine.
But there's the other two categories for hockey. So we have that one, and then we have a type of hockey that's like a sixth sense, or like when a move's going to happen. We've already seen this on CP9. All those guys, all their shave abilities. This is hockey. They gave it a dumb name, but that like helps like with people's like presence and emotions and
Being able to predict actions.
yeah, it's like
they called it something else before.
Mantra, baby.
Mantra. There it is. Mantra.
Sky
Yeah,
Island, baby.
Yeah, we've seen it with an L. It's like precognitive, right? And then the third type of hockey is I don't even know how to describe this. It's like
Ultimate defense.
yeah,
Armament hockey.
yeah. It's like your body.
It was a wonderland.
Your body.
I was gonna say
Your
gets
body
hard.
Body gets
I
horde.
didn't want to say it.
Horde
It's
hands.
already the Peepus episode.
Peepus?
Peepus.
What?
Peepus?
I should
Tell
start
everyone. Yell into the street. Tell
shouting. I should
everyone.
close my window actually.
You probably should, but I feel like the usual like this the last one is the one that most people have.
The Ardiment?
I think so. Isn't that the one that like the other two Hancock sisters have? Which it makes them a little bit stronger. It just it like automatically gives them like +2 to every stat.
Mhm.
I thought they balanced it to where each of the sisters has one of the types of hockey.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I think Sandersona has the Ardiment one, and then the other one has the ability to like the Sixth Sense ability. But maybe
Yeah.
not. I think so though. Because they specifically are in the fight where Luffy is remembering like, oh wait, this person is like that other person. I've dealt with this before. How do I deal with this now?
I'm wondering if you have one, you can develop the other through training, but you can't develop the Emperor, the Emperor's
No, that's
hockey.
just an innate ability. But like certain people are predisposed to certain types of hockey, and yeah, you can train in certain things. But it seems like Sandersonia and Marigold are like, okay, whether they have the other ones or not, they are better at one than the other, so they
favor it.
They cultivated that a little bit more, and they favor it. Yeah,
It's like being ambidextrous, but still favoring your left hand or right hand.
Sure.
yeah, straight up.
Why not?
This is it's so weird that all of that information comes out of this arc. And because
Why?
on the surface level, like the first couple episodes just kind of feel like, okay, we're going to establish Luffy is kind of going to go back and figure something out. And then it takes this immediate left turn into here's a bunch of new stuff that you didn't really even know that you already kind of knew about. And we're going to explain all of it in a few episodes with this fight. And through, the understanding that, one, Luffy doesn't see her the way that everybody else tends to see her, which is why he's not turned to stone. It's like Hancock kind of opens up with all of this worldly information. She's traveled and she knows stuff from inside the Marines, and she's just telling him stuff, which is super useful information for him to know if he wasn't Luffy.
Yeah, it's like it's like the first few episodes of this arc are all like gender jokes, like Luffy's Peepus, and then like they give him clothes that have frills on it, and he's like, "Oh, I don't like frills," blah blah blah.
Girl clothes.
Like, I think at some point he makes somebody cry, and he's like, "Cry babies." Like it's all like Luffy's just having a time, like just being Luffy. And then we just get like a bunch of really important information. Like, this is the first time that we've had Haki explained to us verbatim. Like,
yep.
And like we just saw all the slaves on ShaBooty. ShaBooty, and like we're getting more context of like other people who have suffered.
Right, because it was kind of inferred that they would it's like the celestial dragons, etc., would kind of just like do whatever on those islands to whomever, but it was leaned into the idea that the fishmen and merfolk were the ones that were often used as slave trade, but through this it's kind of just like, no, it was pretty much everybody. It's like, it doesn't matter. It really didn't matter if they just decided randomly that they were just going to be like, no, that's it. And then they'd sell you off and then, brand you. And then that's it.
She explains how they get their devil fruit too, doesn't she?
They do explain that a little bit as well.
Do you remember?
Do I remember? I think that weren't they forced to
as a goof?
Yeah, it was. They were forced to basically, it's like, here, let's make them eat this and see what happens to them, as just kind of like
All Might.
Ha.
Well, it was less like, let's see what happens, and more of like, eat this, it'll be silly, and like also like giving them the like stronger abilities, but still like being underfoot, basically. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter how strong you guys are. Like, the level of arrogance, it's like, we're gonna give you a deadly weapon, but you still won't be able to use it on us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all three of them got devil fruit from that situation.
Speaking of which, let's talk a little bit about their devil fruits. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, what we see here. So we've got, I'll talk about Hancock's, and then I'll let.
Oh, wow.
I'll let, shocking, I know.
Okay.
No,
all right.
Couldn't guess.
And I'll let y'all fight over the other two. So Hancock has the Mero no Mi, which is a paramecia type. It's the beam thing. It's like the slow fruit that, I'm going to say it, but we got to make sure that we can't say it more than 2 more times after this. Similar to what Foxy has.
Yeah.
He didn't say it. You said it. He specifically.
Right. 2 more. We can't say it twice more. We can say it 1 more time. We say it 3 times. We summon him, and then the episode gets slow. But which is the love fruit, and it basically will turn somebody into stone if they are infatuated with you. So if they have, I like to call it, if you have dirty thoughts, if you have those nasty thoughts about the person who's using it on you, then you'll turn to stone. It's just like, stop being nasty. So it'll turn you to stone. And considering the fact that Boa Hancock looks like Boa Hancock does, she attracts gays. So she uses that as her own, weapon. It's like she has become so intently distrustful of people that she's weaponized the thing that people have pushed onto her, which I freaking love for her, is that she's taken the thing that people have pushed onto her and used it as the weapon against them in the first place, which, is an unfortunate thing, but power to her for using it and twisting it around and making what harmed her into her own personal weapon. So she basically turns people to stone. And she has other, other things as well, a bunch of other abilities. She shoots arrows and such. They're like the little like kiss arrow, which is like she has a pistol kiss, the slave arrow, and I can't remember some of the other ones. I can't remember, but
Literally like shooting hearts out of her hand.
Yeah. And she's pretty freaking dangerous, all things considered. She does not look as dangerous as you'd think she is, but she's a warlord for a reason. No joke. She doesn't mess around.
I mean, she completely freezes all of Momonga's crew. It's like he has dozens and dozens of Marines on that boat that are all just turned to statues.
Yeah. Also, they were already like catcalling her from like a mile away.
No, they got what they deserved. All right, nobody's gonna like.
It's less of like, wow, an entire boat of Marines went down, and more of like, no, these guys were all assholes from the get-go. I'm not surprised.
And the thing is like, and it's worth noting because Hancock does use it on, the people of Kuja as well. The people of Amazon Lily. And it works on everyone, regardless of gender. Unless they don't have doity thoughts. So Luffy, pure of heart and empty of mind Luffy, is unaffected.
Pure of heart.
Just a bunch of dust rattling around in there.
Pure heart, empty head.
Pure of heart, and empty of head. So then we have who wants to take Sandersonia?
Oh, we got our Anaconda lady coming up.
Heavy no me model Anaconda.
That sounded like Voltron presentation of like, let's transform.
I love Sandersonia and Marigold as well. Like the whole Gorgon sisters thing. I dig it. It's very cool. I like their designs. I like their characters. They're fun.
I like the story that Oda has written around. It just works out so perfectly with like the whole Gorgon taking it from mythology and then also like adding it here to cover up something like even worse. Like not even that it's like all that bad, but it's like terrible for them, you know what I mean? And also like in the state of the world, like if they like legally, if anybody ever found out that they were slaves, they would have to be brought back to wherever they ran away from, which is such shit. Like that is such shit. That sucks so bad. But I love I love adding the mythology here. It just is cool. But yeah, the Anaconda sister, go.
You nailed it.
We didn't talk about her.
That you just did.
She's got the Kenbun Shoku Haki like we talked about before.
There you go.
She can move super fast and dodge normal attacks, but that gets canceled out when Luffy goes into gear second. So, like, basically, super formidable up until Luffy's like, oh, I know things.
I remember how to fight again.
I like her design was like a work backwards of, all right, we need, let's go Snake, and then let's do Snake Woman, and then, all right, she's just got a big head and a whole lot of hair into her entire life.
Yep.
Interesting work backwards sort of a thing.
Yeah, and this is the sister that Luffy blocks her branding on her back in the middle of the fight. It's Sandersona. And then who's the other one? Marigold?
Marigold.
Like, one of her attacks, like the one that burns Sandersona's clothes, is she lights herself on fire. So
yes.
So badass.
It was Salamander.
Oh, so cool. I love that so much.
Boa Marigold, by the way, has Hebi no Mi model King Cobra, which very cool.
Epic.
Which also means that again, it's important that one is the Anaconda and is kind of this whole like is more of a it's speed and constriction, and the other one is like poison and other abilities, including like again lighting herself on fire and calling it Salamander. It was like what Medusa hair Salamander, which is super cool. They're like these fights are cool. Like they're very cool because it's been a while since we had like Luffy just take on a lot of strong opponents at the same time, because he fights Sandersonia and Marigold at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And here
Yeah.
we have our fabled anime tournament arc.
Yeah.
Very, very, very compressed.
Yeah, it's like, here it is. All
Just
right,
real
so-
quick, just instead of an entire season, we'll do it in like one episode.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like, all right, I know we do stuff pretty long-winded here, but let's get this one and done.
yeah. Let's.
One could even say that the Anaconda don't want none.
I love
Wow.
Marigold though, because she's got this like Valkyrie-esque aesthetic. Like for what it's like, her sisters don't really, they're kind of just doing their thing, but for whatever reason, Marigold has got like her hair in the shape of like a Valkyrie helmet. And like they're adding like really great feminism like myths like all in one pot basically, but I'm fine with it. It just adds to like how cool they are.
Amazons, Gorgons, and Valkyries all mashed up
Mhm.
together to make one
Mhm.
awesome tribe of ladies.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep. She also has this really cool freaking spear that just rocks.
Yeah.
It's just cool. They're just awesome. I like them
Yeah.
a lot. I like.
Basically, like a giant sharp hammer, right? Like it's a huge weight, but
There's
sharpened.
a huge weight to the bottom half of it, so it helps drop the blade down. It's huge. Like it's as big as she is.
Large.
It's very, very, very large. And I think the funniest part of like the whole like the Gorgon sisters is Sandersonia is the only one that like always looks the way that she does. Sandersonia is always just like, it's like, okay, so Hancock, like has, as a kid, looks like a little kid, it's like, and Marigold again looks just like a little kid, and then Sandersonia, large head,
Yeah.
huge,
George had
huge-
long hair.
large head, long hair.
Mhm.
It's nice though because it's like other people in the village, not everybody is small and big. It's like a mix of that. And so it's
Yep.
nice to see like representation in that family too. It's like especially seeing like Marigold where she's fighting Luffy and then go back to flashbacks of like when they first got taken, and it's just like, very similar to Boa, just like a normal kid. And then like where she's at now, like the big Valkyrie style. There's a nice diversity within the three of them, and I like that.
Do we want to talk quickly about one of the things that the Kuja tribe of Amazon Lily use as weapons?
Snake bow.
The snake
their
weapons.
arrows.
They can do like lots of things with them. Some of them uses them as staffs or clubs. Some of them use them as bows and arrows.
Yeah. The boat. They use them for the boats.
They use them as ropes.
The boats.
The boats themselves. Yeah.
The big boats.
The
Snake.
The big
Boats.
boats.
That's important.
Double propeller snake boat thing.
Hancock uses hers, which is a huge one in comparison to everybody else's, as a chair. In fact, that's her throne.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Which is awesome. Like this whole thing is just like there's an aesthetic going on here, and I really, really dig it.
Welcome to Popstar Island.
Shocking absolutely nobody. Kdin likes the island of women. But there is one thing I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit, because after I talked about liking Hancock on social media, because I talk about the things I like in One Piece. I learned about another character today who I already love. But it took me a while to fully like grasp why I liked Hancock as much as I did. And it kind of goes into what I was saying earlier. It's that she has this attitude of keeping people at there's that, it's like, keeping people at it's like arm's length. It's like you don't want to let people get too close. She takes that to an extreme. The poor girl. She takes it to the extreme of, aside from my sisters and the head of the village, everybody stays a mile away from me, emotionally and mentally. I do not care. I don't care. So she has this air of like being arrogant. She has this boss bitch attitude, honestly.
She looks down on people so hard, she's looking backwards.
Right.
She's looking up.
Literally.
Yes.
She looks down so hard she looks up.
And everybody fears her because of her skills as a pirate and as a warlord through the Marines. But even so, even though she's well feared and very respected, the Marines and other pirates, have consistently tried to manipulate her and objectify her because she's pretty. They think she's pretty, and they think woman pretty, woman easily manipulated, woman dumb is basically the way they kind of treat her. They treat her with they're like, oh yeah, you're really strong, but you still work for us, and that means you listen to what we say, and yada yada yada. Which noticeably she'd probably have a little bit of a problem with, considering her backstory.
Yeah.
So she really has this energy of, fuck you, leave me alone, go die. I don't want to fucking deal with anybody. Piss off.
Yes. Also, everyone's just so horny for her. So.
Everybody, listen, everybody in the show, and noticeably even the reaction that I got on social media is like, yeah, she's really hot, right? And I'm just like, there's something else here that I really like about her. And it's not that she's pretty. And it's this point. It's the moment she actually meets somebody who's genuine. Luffy will use as the example here, because Luffy is this giant outlier, and she becomes infatuated with, the way Luffy treats her, because Luffy's the first person in a long time who has treated Hancock like a person. And because of that, not only should she drop her guard, she lets it all go. Like, all that energy of oh, I hate all these things, I don't want anybody near me, all that goes away. In fact, it goes away so much that you see who she is underneath. And she's just very soft, very sweet, very much just I kind of want to not do any of this stuff that I'm doing. I don't want to work as a pirate. I don't want to work as a warlord. I kind of want to just have a life, sit down, have a house, chill out, read a book, spend time with people I care about, and that's it. And it's okay, relatable. I love that. So Luffy jumping in and kind of ripping her out of that, that persona she's built up, is so nice, because you see the flip constantly from this point on, where she's putting on the mask in front of other people, and then she's just genuinely enjoying her time hanging out with Luffy. Even if she's a bit much of the infatuation towards Luffy, and I totally understand that, the point is that it really doesn't bother Luffy, and they just hang out, and they bond, and they become friends, and it's huge for her, because the only people she's considered that close would be her sisters, and again, the leader of the old former leader of the Kuja Island tribe, which is, her aforementioned mentor. So
Who she threw out of a window. So.
Right, yeah, but sometimes sometimes you throw your mother figure out of a window. Sometimes that happens. You have
She can make it. She'll figure it out.
She's super strong anyway. It doesn't matter.
She's
Who do you
spry.
think taught Hancock how to do half of the stuff that she can do?
Well, I also like the thing that, not just the covering of the mark, but that in conjunction with the thing that finally opened up her mind was finding out why Luffy has his bounty.
Yes.
Was, he punched a world noble.
Hell
and
yeah.
that immediately told her everything that she needed to know.
Right,
and
exactly.
Everything that super alleviates everything and explains a lot of his thing of this is the type of person that he is.
Right. So, and I wanna add in a stipulation here too, because I talked about the Marines and other pirates kind of objectifying her and manipulating her and everything like that. And that's true. But you see the reaction of the people on her own island. And while it is very supportive and they love her very much, it is still kind of the same. It's still kind of an objectification thing. It's she's so beautiful, she's so this, she's so this. She has to be even on guard there, which is, again, all the more reason for her to shut down the island to take a bath. In the sense of, one, it's there's two aspects of it. It was, one, these people can't find out about the marking, and the other part is shit, man, I need 5 minutes.
Yeah,
let me have a moment to myself. So, the sisters being just let's shut down the island and let's just chill. Let's just take a minute.
Me time.
Yeah, it's that moment of me time, because when you have so many people treating you that way all the time, whether it be an outpouring of support and love and everything like that, but still focusing on the one aspect of who you are as a person. And then the other part of it is people using that as a weapon against you. This is like, maybe I just want to like close the doors, lock the house down, and lay on the floor and enjoy some floor time.
Bo and I have one thing in common, and this is it, is that when me time happens, that's when the Wi-Fi gets turned off.
That's very valid. And I think I mentioned this. I mentioned this one place once. And I feel like, and I think I mentioned it in Kdin's log in our Discord group, but the reason I like it's different. Nico Robin is my character crush for this entire series. I love Robin. She is amazing. She is incredible, and I love her, and I need to get all sorts of posters all over the walls, and I need to get all her figures, and I need to do all that stuff. But Boa Hancock is like this big mood because it's a lot of like that story feels personal. And I'll say this, as somebody who is openly queer on the internet, openly trans on the internet, openly polyamorous on the internet, openly intersex on the internet, you know, it's like
Nodding.
it's like, okay, there's two types of things, which is people hating you because of this and trying to use that against you, or the just like, you know, there's a little bit of objectification to it. And it's like, even if there's some support behind that objectification, it's still there, which is just like, I kind of want to sit on the floor and do nothing. And it's such a mood. I'm just like, that feels too close to home. And
Yeah.
it's just like, it's just like, as much as I love Robin, the character I probably most relate to in this entire thing is Hancock, because she keeps her close people close and small. And it's very obvious to her when somebody, through her own ability, it's very obvious to see through to somebody's intent. And using her devil fruit, she can just do that. It's like, well, let's find out what's in your heart. I'm going to use a love beam. Oh, look, you turned to stone. There you go. Problem solved.
It's nice after like the last couple arcs we just went through with a lot of really un-okay themes. Like Oda really nailed this one.
Yeah, the thing is like, while he's nailing this, there are some other things that are happening that he totally whiffs on. And we will discuss that later. But this is one of those things that I don't think was fully intentional by Oda, but he accidentally the whole thing, and he did it really well, which, you know, credit where credit is due. Sometimes you accidentally into something that like is super meaningful in a way that you didn't mean to. And you can just be like, cool, that's neat. And then you walk away from that.
Walk away from the landed plane.
Yeah, walk away from the landed plane. You don't need to think any more about that or anything like that, but maybe reflect on it a little bit and be like, what did I do right here? What did people think about that? But this whole island part is like, there's some moments that made me go, well, you know, but overall it's a solid, the best part about it is it's like 20 episodes. Like we're in and out and on with it. it's in so much that we're about to get into some stuff that feels like it takes forever and does. This is a nice little, just like, let's take a minute. Let's take a minute. We'll step back and we'll just kind of enjoy this little small story. We'll introduce ourselves to another new character. This is Luffy building an entirely different crew, you know, and finding new friends along the way to help him in this current journey to get back to his old friends. But we did miss one very important thing.
Oh.
We missed one very important thing.
Uh-huh.
Luffy is talking to Hancock about all these different things, and it turns out that, you know, it's like Luffy's listening to her talk about all these different things about what her job is and what she does and everything like that. There's an all-out offensive happening. There's this huge war that's going to happen with Whitebeard. There's this huge big thing, this call. Everybody's coming in. The whole world is going to watch this big war that's going to happen. And then Luffy hears some additional information. Ace is at Marineford. They're going to kill Ace.
Well,
And they're gonna
Ace is going to Marineford.
yes.
Ace is captured, is what he learns in the newspaper. Portagast the Ace has been captured.
Right, and is quote unquote supposedly already on his way. They find out that that's not technically true. It's all leading
Scheduled
to this
to be
point of-
executed.
right,
Yeah.
scheduled to be executed, and they're basically this is a very obvious ploy to get all of the Whitebeard pirates to Marineford. Ace isn't there yet, but that doesn't matter. Everybody's headed to Marineford. That's very important.
I mean, it's not a ploy necessarily. They know that Whitebeard isn't going to stand for this. They assume he'll react, but then, it's not. They're not intending for Whitebeard. That wasn't. They're just trying to get rid of Ace. They're not trying to get to Whitebeard. Like
They know he's going to show up, and they know he's going to show up, so they pick the place that is most beneficial for them to take down as many of the Whitebeard pirates as possible. If they can get Whitebeard, bonus points. But if they can get rid of Ace and a bunch of Whitebeard pirates, that's a win for them. And they pick Marineford because they already explained that it's super well defended. This is their place. This is their home. It's their home court
I mean,
advantage.
it's like if you're gonna kill somebody and you know that like their entire extended family is gonna come after you, and they're like one of four like of the baddest bitches on the sea. Like, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I sure hope it does. Like, yeah, you're gonna pick the place where you're most fortified.
And the thing is like they specifically pick this place, even though we've already heard two other places that were supposedly the best.
Why are you so fixated on this?
Because they've mentioned other places already. I mean, we already went to one. They're just like, this is the worst place you could ever be.
You just
But then
keep talking about Marineford, and like in this moment when Luffy gets this information, all I'm like remembering is that they're like, your brother's been captured, and he's like, what? And he like pulls out the Vitra card.
Right, and it's burning.
And it's burning, and that's the important thing, Kdin. It's not that they're at Marineford. The important thing is that Ace is in trouble. I don't why do you keep talking about
because there's a reason for that. Because the next thing that happens immediately is
We're
that
not there yet.
no, literally the next thing that happens is it's like, okay, well, we got to go here because they mention it. But then it's just like, well, he wouldn't be there just yet because Hancock knows that. It's like he's still at Impel Down, which is the prison. So he's just like, well, we got to go save him then. So Hancock agrees to go, meets with Momonga again, and says, okay, we'll go, but we got to go to Impel Down first.
Control Z's freezing all those Marines.
She's just like, I want to meet Ace first. That's the whole ploy. Their whole plan is just like, all right, well, we know information that people who read this paper don't know, which is that Ace isn't there yet. So if we go to Impel Down, maybe we'll be able to free Ace. That's the whole plan.
It just makes sense. Like, you're not going to just have him at your headquarters. You're going to put him in jail first. So they got to go to the jail before it escalates to the execution, which is going to be at Marineford. You're going to want to do everything before that point, and you're going to try and do a heist. You're going to try and heist this guy out of prison.
But then why didn't Whitebeard show up there?
Because he had his own thing going on, Kdin. Also, love this guy. We're not getting there yet. I can't. It's fine. Cut it. But it's like, I just love when like Hancock's like, I want to meet Ace, and no one questions it because Ace is fucking hot too.
Completely valid thing of like, look, this is literally the world's most dangerous man that we have in custody, like, and we're using him as a ploy to draw out more of their forces. But can I see him? Can I see this hot boy?
The hottest titties on the sea. I gotta see him before they're gone.
Can I see this titty out man?
I've heard great things about this
Big
man.
fan.
With
Big
the
fan.
titties out.
Tittied moon.
Big fan.
Let me meet him first.
And
they
nobody
say
questions
yes!
it. And they're just like, they're like, okay, okay, that's great.
What authority does Momonga have?
It's on the way.
Well, it is on the way.
He's also been in a bad place for a few days too. Like, she froze his entire crew in the middle of the calm belt, and he's been like killing sea kings and eating them as like his only form of subsistence. And then
it doesn't
lucky
look
for
like
him,
he has a cooking fire either. It's just like eating raw sea king,
sashimi.
scales and all.
Yeah, you just slice those off.
Yeah, or chew them, just fiber.
I think he's just more. I mean, for like a gruff Marine, I think he's just excited she came back and like unfroze his crew. But also, just that no one blinks an eye. They're like, yeah, that sounds about right. I would love to meet him as well, but that's above my pay grade.
It's like there's a lot of that's just like it's all leading. Like every bit of information that's out there is leading information. Because like I don't know, this is me pulling things apart as somebody who's watching the show, but my first instinct is it's like, oh, the government is telling me that they're going to execute my second in command at this particular place, and it's obviously a trap.
Kdin, you gotta stop talking about Whitebeard. We're not there yet. I have a lot of things I would love to say. We can't talk about it yet. That's not this arc.
I know, but like Luffy thinks to go to Impel Down first, and he's right. Can you imagine the ramifications of Whitebeard showing up as they're getting out of there?
Kdin, we can't. I have so many points I want to make right now, but we can't talk about this right yet.
I know, but I want to.
So geographically,
no, I just
Impel Down and Enos Lobby and Marineford are three gates around this whirlpool, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're on the way because Marines have access to those gates. They can just ride the whirlpool around to the next gate and then go in there. So it's not really inconvenient for them to do that.
Here's the verbatim, Kdin. I know what you're saying. Here's what I will say. This is the most impenetrable prison of all time ever.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to focus your attack on the most impenetrable jail of all time? Or would you wait until the thing that you're trying to get leaves the impenetrable thing, and then you try and get whatever you're getting when it's out?
They keep saying Marineford's worse. It's like this is where all of the strongest ultimate people go. I'd go to the place with the second place.
But between fighting strong people but having like it all be outside versus like trying to fight your way into like a locked safe with the
bro,
metal.
they gotta take Ace out of there, so just like wait.
Kdin, that is what I'm saying. Kdin, that's what I'm saying. But you keep saying, why doesn't Whitebeard show up here? Why doesn't he go to the prison? Why isn't he doing this? That's why, Kdin, that's why. That's why. Can't talk about this anymore. That'll be next episode. How dare you? How dare you?
Nah,
How dare you question?
I'd wait outside the prison like the Blues Brothers.
How dare you question one of my husbands? How dare you?
4 fried chickens and a Coke.
Anyway.
That's where we find them. They're off to Impel Down because Luffy big brains everything. It's like, what if I rubberman my way into prison and then rubberman my way out with my brother? And then that's what's going to take us into the next arc.
Yep.
In the game of rock, paper, prison, rubber wins.
I'm rubber, you're prison. I like the thing, like the further proving of Luffy being Ace of like, yeah, I'm gonna wrap myself around your body under this big cloak, and I'm gonna sneak on and it won't be a thing. And Hancock being like, oh God, are we married?
Oh, we're married.
I love her.
We're married.
Listen, I love how innocent she is because a lot of her things are just like, and we'll hold hands. It's like, oh, honey, honey.
That's nice.
It's not even that.
So
It's that we'll hold
sweet.
hands and we'll be married then because we held hands.
She's every post on Tumblr is just like when she types out holding hands,
Interlocking
Give
faces.
her a girlfriend.
it's just O and the A. So you don't know this. This is too lewd for everybody.
God. It's just like the first time she's ever wanted a significant other after like the years and years of just being like, fuck everyone except for my family. And then now she's like, how do I? Mark.
It's soft physical affection. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's very. Oh, Lord.
I forgot that I put the face in chat too, so that makes it even better.
It's worse.
Mark put a lewd hand gesture and emojis in the
hate
Discord.
this.
I'm like,
With Buggy on
oh
top.
my god, I got lightheaded with that last one.
Wait, hold on. I have to change this one to this one, and it's funnier.
No, that's me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, like we call this this is like the truest sense of an arc in the show of like, oh yeah, 20 episodes, that's an arc, as opposed to like upcoming stuff.
Yeah, get ready.
Where
Things get long.
Sagas
feel like arcs. Like there are little arcs in between. There's like sagas feel like sagas. This is an arc that feels like an arc because like, oh, okay, we got some development, we got some world building, we met some new characters, and we're off on the next grand adventure. And even like this is a saga that like all of these arc, like these next couple of bits feel like an arc to a point where like Kdin, you were trying to guess the name of this whole saga as it was happening, and it's like, well, because everything's sort of intertwined, but it has its own flavor, as opposed to stuff that's been happening a little bit more recently, where it's this saga is only going to take place in this one place, and there are multiple levels of this same place, and it's gonna feel a little samey after a little bit. But that's it.
Yep.
So get ready for 300. Oh no, I can't say it because we're still in non-spoiler places. But
I will say this whole saga is 131 episodes from tip to tail to top to bottom, and this is kind of the first one that feels it. It's the first one that really. This is the yeah. I understand that you're laughing because it goes. I know it'll. It's already. But the thing is that this is the first one that really feels like, oh, like this is long, and they get longer from here. They get longer.
You
from
don't even
here.
know, Kdin. You don't even know. You got a taste,
what's Peepus?
dude. Peepus time.
I swear, if in 300 episodes I come back and Peepus is a thing in One Piece, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind.
Know me.
It's like you're all typing in.
How does she know about one Peepus?
It's just like
Let's sail for one Peepus.
it's the name of
It's the name of the Peepus.
The Peepus in the grand Peepus. Yeah. So this was Kdin's episode. Kdin is very passionate about Boa Hancock. Good news is that the next episode will be the Buggy Boys episode.
Yeah,
It was their time, and then the one after that will be my time.
Yeah.
My time.
It's just redacted talks.
Yeah.
Like that's all it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see how redacted looked in this scene?
It's gonna be a lot of bleeping because Molly is gonna go off.
I'm so excited to show off my mug in 2 episodes.
I'm so proud of
That's
you.
great. That's like October.
Oh my!
Well,
it's August.
when did Kdin start One Piece? February? January?
No, I started at the end of last year, but I also I've been encouraged to continue to take time off from One Piece. Otherwise, I really would have been.
But
when
when did you start, Kdin? When did you start?
I started, I believe, near holiday break of 2020. So like November, December last year is when I started watching casually, and then after the encouragement of two rounds of Uno with all of y'all, I went from the middle of Alabasta to, oh gosh, where did I end up? I went all the way from the middle of Alabasta to Thriller Bark in a number of months.
So it's been 10 months. I can wait 2 more.
You can wait 2 more.
I can wait a full year.
You can wait a full year.
Oh, Boise.
I can't believe
I
can't believe you've thought about this for a
time.
year. Ever since I said I started watching One Piece, this has probably been on your mind.
We have to find the audio of you describing my husband and how horrifically and insultingly correct you were.
Well, the thing is just like we've known each other for a while now, and we spend so much time together.
I just
Like
didn't realize I was
locked
so
in this Discord box, and you post very, very leading images, Molly. You post very leading images, and you've already kind of like Listen,
Uh-oh.
if you don't know who Molly is talking about now, and you've watched
no.
One Piece before, you don't know.
You're
you
in
don't
one.
know Molly. You don't know Molly. When you find out who it is, you will truly and finally understand who our captain is. And
know
what
if I like
keeps
that.
what keeps the Chrono Pirates together.
I'm being very specific here. This is my husband, not any of the grandpas I'm simping for.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Also,
This is my husband.
I forgot to send a gift.
Did he get you a ring?
oh God, it's just like I'm just
I want to say something.
listen. No, no. People have guessed though, and I haven't seen anybody guess correctly. So I think either it's gonna be like a surprise, or everyone's gonna be like, "I said that," and I just didn't see it. But I swear I didn't see. I have yet to see anybody. I don't know. Oh, come on. We already talked about Foxy Grandpas. This is somebody else.
But that's it for the episode of Kden's wife. We're gonna move on to the part.
Don't worry,
of the
I'll talk
show.
about it more later. No, not wife.
I hope
My
so.
wife is Robin. Boa Hancock is
Oh,
in
okay.
big mood.
Big food. I'm interested to see how
Big mood,
your
best friend.
forever. So we're moving into a part of the show where if you are caught up or you don't care, we're going to be talking about spoiler territory, and that's because we're going to be. Actually, Kden, do you have any predictions that you want to cover this episode?
No, but I can tell you what episode I'm on.
Well, then let's do that. What episode of One Piece are you currently
Let
on?
me open my Funimation app. And let it
Watch.
it is
Not sponsored.
5:32. I watched 10 episodes this morning.
Oh, jeez.
Yay!
That's so many. So any of the idle chatter or any of the things that we'll be talking about from here will be a little closer to that number. So if you are watching with the show, in the sense of you just got to the Kuja Pirates, then thank you for listening. Make sure to leave your comments, follow us on Yayo Talk Show, and all of that good stuff. We appreciate your listenership. But for those of you who are either at that episode or beyond, we got some fun stuff. We're getting into spoiler territory. So let's do a quiz that we all decided to do together, which is from an SBS where we all did personally. If you asked Chopper what the other members of the Straw Hat crew smell like, this is what he says they smell like.
Right.
Because we talked about it a bit in Dead and Adventure. They don't go back to it fairly frequently, but sort of just his animal senses of he's got a real strong sniffer. Let's start with the most recent addition to the Straw Hat Pirates, which is Brooke. What does Chopper say Brooke smells like?
Bonesman.
Captain, what does the Bonesman smell like?
Does Brooke drink tea or coffee specifically? Anybody know?
Don't cheat off of other people's tests.
All right, fine.
I mean, I could tell you, but we're technically in quiz territory.
Yeah, all right,
Oh, right.
fine. I say Brooke smells
It's
like
Monster Energy drink.
God,
Damn it.
Baja Blast.
Gamer fuel.
Paper fuel. No, he smells
You just
like
look into his cup and it's like teal.
he smells. I'm gonna say coffee. I think it's coffee because Robin, I think, also drinks coffee. So I'm gonna say coffee.
Okay, Captain. Kden, what's Brooke smell
Brooke's a
like?
gentleman. Gentlemen drink
you right.
tea. He smells like tea.
Smells like tea.
Sounds like you
Ow.
took my homework and
Bones.
changed it. Bones.
He smells like
He's a
Bones.
skeleton.
Bones.
It smells like bones.
Mark.
he smells like
What do bones
Ew.
smell like?
Marrow.
Like bones.
I'll leave my
Marrow,
husband
marrow.
out of this.
Al, God damn it! Are you saying? Are you actually saying bones? He smells
Yes,
like
I'm
bones.
saying he smells like bones.
It's logical.
Wow.
Caden, do you want to cop? I'm sorry, Molly. Do you want to copy off of Caden's homework?
No, she stole from me.
No.
Fair enough. Well, you probably should have because Brooke smells like tea.
There you go. Gentlemen drink tea. A gentleman doesn't
Gentlemen
drink coffee.
tea.
How dare you guys?
And Brooke and Robin both drink
Yep.
tea.
Really?
Yes.
Yep.
They
Damn.
share.
I swear.
They make a single cup and they share. You can see Robin pours some sometimes.
Swear
for
it's
both of them.
coffee. That might be a personal translation change or something.
We'll take a look at
For your
also,
specific copy of the manga.
I wrote it myself.
Brooke drinks out of a tea glass
Mhm.
specifically,
Yeah.
as opposed to a coffee mug.
I know. That's an aesthetic thing, though. I do that too, but it's coffee.
You drink coffee out of a
Yeah, I
teacup?
got two.
Oh, Molly, we
Like a proper
earned your
China tea?
hand.
we
Yeah.
can't be friends anymore, Molly. That's
No.
improper.
I'll show you. I'll
What are you
post a
doing?
picture. I'll post a picture in chat. They're pretty. They're pretty. I want to use them.
But for coffee?
Yeah, why not?
coffee
I
in
drink
there.
like coffee 10 times a day.
It's a teacup. When you pour something into it, it just becomes tea.
No, not in my head canon.
That particular teacup was fed a devil fruit that turns all of its contents into
Into
tea.
coffee.
That would be amazing. I would love that. I love tea.
If you could change the flavor, like if it's not just like one specific,
Hot
it's just
Earl Grey.
mud.
I love tea. I love tea. Tea is amazing.
Throw leaves in your Coke like a real friggin' I don't know.
Nice.
Abandoned joke.
Abandoned.
All ye
Let's
who
go.
enter here.
Let's switch to Nico Robin. What does Chopper say Nico Robin smells like? Let's start with Kdin.
Oh, that's easy.
Mhm.
Is it? Is it now?
She has flora. She smells like flowers.
Molly, those are tea glasses.
That's a teacup, Molly.
Tea glasses.
yeah. Teacup,
Tea
whatever.
glasses.
That those are for
It's
tea.
just tea bags glued to your face. So you can see
That's me.
it's my tea glasses, so I can only see
Got
tea.
Teanal vision. Teanal vision.
No. Please.
Al, what does Nico Robin? What does Chopper say Nico Robin smells like?
It's probably got to be flowers. I agree with Kdin.
just go with Kdin. Captain, what do you say?
More tea.
No.
I could pick a specific flower if that helps.
Like I was thinking like perfume, but I
Like
guess it would be
extra
like
point.
floral perfume, I guess. She's very mature. So I feel like she would wear
She-
perfume.
That is a point for not Molly. She smells like flowers.
Alright.
I feel like that
Surprising
Molly.
no one.
I kind of want to give that to Molly because Molly
Half point?
said
Wanna
perfume,
give
but it
Molly
had to
a
be.
half point?
But Molly said it has to be floral perfume. It has to be floral, which I think that counts because if you use
So here's going to be my breakdown. There are a few members of the crew that Chopper says smell like two things. So for this, give Molly half a point because there's an opportunity to get half points later down the line.
swag, will you tell us which
Cool.
ones are the double ones?
No, they are fairly obvious.
Okay.
But as a complete and total random transition, Sanji. What does Sanji smell like?
No.
You can give it to Al?
I'm gonna give it to Al. He just gets the point.
No, I mean he just gets the point. It's his turn.
It's gotta be cooking things, so he smells like the kitchen and fire? Food and fire?
Food and fire. Okay. Cap'n.
Tobacco, cigarettes, and
Okay.
some kind of spice or cologne.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Spicy cologne.
Kdin. Bicycle.
My
Old
turn.
Spice.
Yeah, Kdin, what you got? Oh, Old Spice.
Y'all, come on. Y'all,
TM'd.
this is too easy though. Like this is the one. First of all, Mark led this in. Don't worry, everybody. I'll give you extra points if you get two of them.
Well, no, they each said two. So
I know
that's
it's a leading question, which is that Sanji absolutely has to smell like two things. One has to be cigarettes, and the other one, Yeah, I think everybody was on the right track with like food, but probably specifically considering the fact that they eat sea kings fairly often now, I'd probably say fish and cigarettes.
How do you do it? Kdin, how do you goddamn do
Because
it?
I know what a trash person smells like.
Cigarettes and seafood.
You smell a
the
man that
answer.
smells like cigarettes and fish, and you leave.
So
You're
you've
right.
never eaten
absolutely.
a restaurant again.
Oh man. If
Hope nobody's
That's a-
still smoking in the kitchen.
that's a deal breaker. That's a deal breaker.
All right, let's move on to his Mari bro. What does Chopper say Zoro smells like? Let's go back to Molly for this one.
I think he smells like shit.
Whoa! Whoa!
The reason I say that is because I think this is a different SBS quiz we'll probably do along the way. But he's a real stinky boy.
Oh, I know the specific one you're referring to, which is how frequently they bathe.
Yes.
And I am not doing that one because it's just wild.
Okay, great.
It's all over the
So
place.
Zoro like bathes once a week, so I'm sure he smells like shit all the time because he's always constantly working out and is sweaty.
Sweaty boy.
He's literally the current random hyperfixation people have on celebrities right now about do you shower or not. But it's like it's the opposite. It's like you find out Zoro doesn't shower and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's constantly working out, like he's constantly sweaty. This guy sucks. Anyway, yeah, it smells like shit.
So smells bad.
So bad. Not good.
Okay.
Not good. Bad.
Kdin, what do you say?
That's a great answer, actually. Like, I didn't know that he only bathed.
So you gotta have that inside information, Kate.
Well, I mean, he does work out a lot, so it could easily be just sweat. But,
Wet butt. Yeah, you're right.
but,
Same hat.
Same hat.
but I'm gonna go the other direction because I feel like if we spread out enough, then one of us will get this. The other thing he constantly does is he's constantly, honing his swords and working with the blades and working with his swords themselves. So I'm gonna say he smells like considering how he puts the sword in his mouth. All right, he puts the sword in his mouth. All right, he puts it right in his mouth. So, maybe he smells like metal, steel, something like that.
Okay. All right. Al.
I agree with Molly, but I don't think they're gonna say shit on the cover. I'm gonna say BO body odor.
That's the.
Can I throw in maybe we'll help Al. He's also drinking a lot of booze all the time.
But you didn't say that.
I know. I'm just giving Al the option to also.
Look, I'm going to stick with my bad answer, but I also have another one that I'm offering for free.
I'm just like, if we all say BO, I feel like the obvious answer is going to be like, no, he smells like a drunk.
Well, you specifically said he smells like shit.
Well, he does smell like shit, but I feel like the undercut might be whiskey or sake or whatever.
I also like it's not.
He's got that whiskey undercut.
It's not like I would assume that he smells bad. It's like no. Molly says with absolute certainty, I know that Zoro smells like garbage.
I've met this man.
Lettered the word shit.
I was in the vicinity of this man at some point, and I could smell
So many
miles
beeps.
away.
So many beeps.
That'll be fun.
Well, I'm gonna have to give the beeping point to Kdin because she nailed it 100%. Chopper says that Zoro smells like
He's a
steel.
kid. He's a kid. He'd say
He's
BO.
not a squid.
He'd say BO or he'd say like something else around him. I don't think Chopper would be mean. I don't think he'd be just like, yeah, Zoro smells.
The one
tiny Chopper voice.
The person he looks up to the most. He's like,
smells like. I'm deliberately not finishing the word so you don't have to censor that.
Well, too late. I'm gonna anyway.
Nice.
I'm trying to be nice and give you less work.
I appreciate that.
No.
Let's. Thanks, Molly. Frankie. What does Frankie smell like, Al?
Cola.
Okay.
And
Straight to the point. Oh, do you want to add one?
maybe it's 2 because he is a cyborg. But I'm just gonna stick with Cola.
Okay.
Safety.
Captain.
Man, I got such a bad track record. I don't give an F. I'm gonna say cola parentheses chapstick.
Hair gel. That's what the second one is.
And
It smells like pomade.
the second one I'm gonna say maybe oil.
Okay. All right. Kdin, what do you got for Frankie?
I'm just gonna go straight up cola.
That's a point for everybody. Frankie smells like
Yay!
cola.
Cola chapstick.
So here's a fun one. What does Chopper smell like?
Oh no.
You're gonna pick.
What does Chopper smell like?
I know it's-
smells like?
Kdin, what does Chopper say Chopper smells like?
This feels like you're throwing me under the bus. So I'm gonna galaxy
it's your
brain
turn.
it. Yeah,
your
yeah. You did this intentionally. I know you did.
Ow.
So I'm gonna galaxy brain it. I'm gonna galaxy brain this. All right. I'm gonna galaxy brain this. Most people don't know what they smell like themselves out of the box. Like if they spray themselves with a perfume, it's like, oh yeah, I smell florally today because I use that. But fresh out of the shower, you're not going to be just like, oh yeah, I smell like this at a base level. So I'm going to say Chopper doesn't know what Chopper smells like because Chopper wouldn't know what Chopper smells like because you, dear listener, who bathes regularly and is not like awful celebrities, you don't know what you smell like. Other people know what you smell like. So he doesn't know. He wouldn't know.
Okay. Molly
And or
muted
cotton
herself.
candy. I'm not sure.
Al, what does Chopper think Chopper smells like?
I was gonna say cotton candy.
Okay, cotton candy.
And probably as a lie, just like complimenting himself.
Okay. Captain, what does Chopper think he smells like?
Yeah, I just feel like cotton candy is the easy answer just because I know that he frequents it. But I'm trying to think chemical wise, because he's always doing, he's always doctoring. Like if it's anesthetic or
What's the doctor smell like? Grape.
and hand sanitizer.
Grape aid and hand sanitizer.
It's that clinical. It's that clinical smell.
It smells like Wowie Pops.
I don't know though, because it's I don't know what I smell like normally. I hope it smells good.
See? You don't know.
Probably got this.
It's
one.
when I leave and come back. When I leave and come back, then I can smell the what my apartment smells like when I haven't been there for a while.
Right.
But
so if you're around yourself that much, see, you don't know what you smell like.
Ooh, claps too.
You don't know what you smell like.
No one told us. The only person that told us life was gonna be this way was Kdin.
Oda. Oh yeah.
Oh, and Oda, but Kdin wins because, to quote Toady Chopper, "How should I know?"
See, you don't know what you smell like.
That makes sense. I don't know. Fuck if I know.
All right, I thought that was a fun one, and I'm happy that they included Chopper in that list as well.
It doesn't make any sense. Why would you ask somebody what they smell like? Unless never mind.
Usopp. What does Usopp smell like? Captain. What does Chopper say Usopp smells like? Hello?
Why are you laughing so hard?
What happened?
No. Save me for last.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I said okay.
I'm scared now. This is
Me too.
Peepus related?
Usopp smells like Peepus.
Oh, I guess they farts, Kdin. That did not take me very long to get.
Yo, thank you, Molly. Clown to clown communication immediately.
Live, laugh, love, fart.
Yeah, what do I know about Usopp immediately? Sucks farts.
Sucks farts. And what scent would an animal pick up on? The fart.
I don't know. Usopp is always tinkering. He's the marksman, but I don't know if a slingshot has a specific smell. He's sucking down farts.
Sucking down farts like Monster Energy drink.
Wow.
God, I don't really know what Usopp would smell like. He doesn't have an identifying favorite fruit, Syrup Island.
Smells like pancakes.
Smells like pancakes.
Smells like bullshit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe he smells.
He does lie a lot.
He does lie.
Maybe Usopp smells like sweat because he's always like sweating. Like he's always nervous. He's a coward.
I was thinking about these sweaty boys.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen. I know specifically who showers and who doesn't.
Molly's sitting there as like one of these stank men smells like sweat. I know it.
Look, one of these men smells disgusting, and it's not just Sanji.
Statistically, I know how many of these men smell absolutely awful. The absolute travesty. Once you know, you can't unknow. Also, there's a really funny TikTok I'm trying to find to put in chat specifically about this knowledge.
I love that of the troves and decades of One Piece knowledge. I know it's recent, but still, the ones that you have committed to memory is like, I know when these sons of bitches shower.
I wish I
can
did.
smell
I
you.
wish I didn't. I also wish the answer was that everybody bathes every day. I wish that was the answer. I
Everybody
wish.
jumps in the ocean every
That's
day.
what our listeners do because they're not Hollywood celebrities.
Please. It's
Please.
for yours. It's for your own good as well as others.
Yeah, and the good of everybody. Hey, you know what? Take a shower, and
Please.
also
on us.
when
On
conventions when conventions open up again, shower
Oh, shower
And
every day.
deodorant.
every day.
It's some deodorant, man.
Soap? Yeah. That soap. Get that shampoo and conditioner. Do the whole shebang.
Please, please.
Yeah, you're right. So, Molly, what is your official answer for the Usopp?
Sweat.
Sweat.
Yeah. Why not?
Kaden, what do you have for Usopp?
Oh
Oh wait, no, you said last. I
Yeah.
apologize.
I was gonna say farts as a joke, but then like I'm thinking about it for real.
So Al or Kaden, whoever wants to go first.
Caden's onto something, but I'm gonna say rotten eggs.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
You're thinking the same path that I am. I'm thinking like, what are his favorite his favorite stars?
gadgets.
Yeah, his gadgets that he uses.
What
I'm
in the
trying to
world's in that bag? What's he got in that bag?
Yeah,
Eggs.
I'm trying to think about it. The ones that like immediately come to mind are the ones that he's used pretty much throughout the entire series, which would be the rotten egg, which is the stinky egg star, but like the big one that he always uses is always the Firebird star, and then his old classic was, the Smoke Star, which is just like, I need to get the hell out of here. So crap. How do I explain both of
Smells
them?
like crap.
How do I explain both of those? I feel like there's a trick here, because
No, this one's pretty straightforward. Like, to be perfectly honest, this one's straightforward, and there's only one.
I still feel like it's a trick because
Okay.
No. I feel like it's
You're a liar, Mark.
I feel like it's a trick because my brain wants to say because he uses those a bunch and like he's using projectiles, and they call him a sniper, that it would be like, oh, we're gonna be cheeky and call it like gunpowder, but it's not a gun, and it's dial powered. What does a dial smell like?
It smells like the sky.
It smells like soap, which you can buy at your local store.
Please wash.
I also not fun.
Well, it can't be cigarettes or smoke. So I don't know. I'll go with this is stupid. I'll go with gunpowder. It's not right.
Okay. Al, are you going with rotten eggs?
Yes.
Rotten eggs
Okay.
is smart. Rotten eggs
Well,
is probably it.
So if y'all will remember, one of Usopp's primary pieces of ammo is the Kyakuboshi, which is literally gunpowder star.
Boo, come on. He doesn't use a gun though. He doesn't
No,
use
he
a
doesn't.
gun.
But it's a projectile made of gunpowder.
Wow. How does
It's the
Kdin keep
exploding
doing
star.
this?
Because it's
Shoot,
it's stupid. It's stupid. Like, it's like you focus on the things that they're known for, not what they would actually smell like. Like, why would Robin smell like flowers? Aside from the fact that she's probably the one that bathes the most, but it's just like, oh, Say's floor. It's a part of her character dynamic. Frankie has to smell like cola because it's his character dynamic. Brooke smells like tea because what does a bone smell like?
What if I
Smells
told
like a bone.
what if I told Kdin right now that Robin's on that list of people who don't bathe?
Everybody's on the list, but
You're a liar if you say that. No way.
I think I'm just gonna pull this up after we record. But also like
I'm so mad now.
to that end, this is asking a child what their friends smell like. And so it's like
Farts.
association with a memory, like whatever.
Smell good.
Yeah, this stuff smells like farts. So let's go to Nami. Al, what does Nami smell like according to Chopper?
She has the climate act. Does she smell like rain?
Ooh, that's nice.
That's not bad.
That'd be oddly specific, though.
It just gives a faraway look and very poetic.
Rain. The rain
Chopper, you
falls
okay?
down.
And wait, my dream. Kdin, what does Nami smell like?
You said there was a couple that had two, right?
I did say that.
Okay. Then it's gotta be Nami's gotta be the other one then.
Well, we still have like one more straw hat. Don't
We have Luffy after this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. If everybody doesn't get Luffy's, I'm gonna be mad because I have it in the back of my head. I've been waiting for you to say Luffy.
Smells bad.
I know exactly what Luffy smells like. I know exactly
bad,
what
man.
Luffy smells like. It's something that we mentioned that I think Molly mentioned earlier. It's just like, it's like Usopp doesn't come from any place that would smell anything. What is syrup? Blah blah blah. But Nami does.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Nami does.
I know.
Nami's been dragging this freaking orange tree around since the beginning. So she's got to smell like oranges and wait, how do I okay. I need to say it this way because this is very important. I say it this way because I have to say this in universe. It's like she's got to smell like the oranges, the citrus fruit, and berries, but berries meaning money, not berries as in berries, the food, but berries as in money. So she's got to smell like oranges and money.
Al, do you want to change your answer?
Yeah, I want to change my answer. Oh shit! It's on the boat.
You silly.
This is the thing
You're
she
so
eats
silly.
the most and hangs out with the
She's got the
bros.
bloody a scratch and stiff tattoo.
You're silly.
I'm changing my answer to oranges.
Molly.
Well, I'm gonna say tangerines. And yeah, like paper money, probably money in general.
Cash, cold hard cash.
Cash.
Ash.
Money.
Okay. Kane said oranges, and Molly, you said
Tangerines.
tangerines. Now,
Citrus fruit.
Yeah, citrus fruit TM.
if we really wanted to get into it,
Oh,
that's
don't.
partial credit for Kdin.
Oh, that sounds okay. All right, you're using literal nonsense.
I'm using semantics.
Okay, Okay, no, everybody gets points because if you're pulling that nonsense, then it's
Well, no, but
is
like
this?
you say, this is a multiple one, and it is tangerines and money.
Yay!
Well, it's technically not even tangerines then.
It's Mekon.
It's
Mekon.
Mekon.
Mekon are tangerines.
Sort
Yay!
of, but it's such a specific citrus fruit TM.
Citrus fruit.
It's
fine.
closer associated with the tangerine than it is there's an orange, but
Fine.
it is a citrus fruit. That's why I'm like
Yay!
semantics. All right.
Molly, so happy.
So
Yay!
what does the rubber man smell like, Kdin?
What's the one thing that this man has been screaming about since day one?
His hat.
Episode
Rubber Man?
one.
Rubber Man?
Episode 1. What is he looking for all the time? Everywhere
Shanks?
he's looking left and right. If he
Yeah,
can't
kind
find it,
of
he's
Shank.
furious.
Kind of.
This
I'm
man
a
smells
rubber
like
man.
meat. He smells like meat.
Meat. That's neat.
But do we want to be specific?
No, he smells like meat. He doesn't specify. If it's not meat, he doesn't smell like shellfish because he specifically says he doesn't like shellfish. I just learned that. He's just like, shellfish isn't meat. It's an insult to meat. He smells like meat. Meat can be anything. Meat is anything that isn't shellfish or vegetables or fruit to Luffy. So specifically, meat all-encompassing, not shellfish.
Luffy's
Asterisk.
not picky when it comes to meat. He just likes it.
Except for shellfish, which is an insult. I love
Fair
that
enough.
line so much. It's an insult of meat.
I think we need to end on Cap'n. So Al, what do you got for Luffy?
I thought for sure he was going to be like two smells, and I was going to say rubber and meat.
I mean, that's valid. That's valid.
But I'll go with meat because that's
Are you
the clear
sure?
front runner. Yeah.
Can
Meat
you
on the bone?
Can you imagine if Luffy did smell like rubber though, and the amount of times he's been like physically burned? That would just be the worst smell imaginable.
It smells like farts.
Captain, what's your opinion on all of this?
I was really hoping, especially because Al completely forgot Nami's whole thing. Or second thing, rather. Not.
Yeah, let's forget Monkey D. Luffy's like one defining characteristic.
I was like, I'm gonna come in here with the big brain moment, but yeah, I think meat, just meat in general.
Meat asterisk not seafood.
Also smells like shit.
Shellfish.
Also showers once a week. Smells like shit.
What?
I feel
Gross.
like I feel weird about doing the easy quiz because Kdin perfect score 100% nailed every single one of these.
Chopper's like 12. Of course he's going to be just like, this one smells like flowers. This one smells like a sword. This one smells like meat.
You're identifying with the character, become one with the character. and Kdin wins again. Kdin doesn't need to get to know a Straw Hat because she knows all of the Straw Hats backwards and forward.
Unless I don't know who they are yet, or if they joined the crew or not, if the crew gets any bigger.
Oh, don't worry. I'm still similar to what we did with Brooke. I'm saving those if we have anybody else that joins the crew that subsequently, like when Brooke joined the crew, the next SBS, they were like, okay, Oda, remember all of those questions we asked you about what the crew likes? What are Brooke's? And he went, okay, and then just like, here are all of the other things about
I don't know. The guy smells like bones.
Brooke's favorite thing, pastrami sandwich. His favorite color, I don't know, he doesn't have eyes. His favorite smell, he doesn't have a nose.
Actually,
Shut up and leave me alone.
Pastrami sandwich isn't bad. That's not a bad. That's not. There's another quiz that you already have a point in.
I'm getting hungry.
That'll do it for this Get to Know a Straw Hat, and that'll also do it for the show. But if you have a Get to Know a Straw Hat that you think will stump Kdin, tweet at me directly. Like, make sure that she doesn't see it because it might, it all contains spoilers and
Don't tag Kdin in the post.
Yeah.
Don't tag anybody but me in the post because I have a couple here that I was like, okay, there's actually one that we cut from a previous episode that was
We gotta go back. We gotta go back and do that one.
No, we're not. It's bad. It's
No,
just,
I want to
it
do it
is-
again. I want a
That
redemption arc.
That wasn't a fun one. That wasn't fun
It
at
wasn't.
all. I remember
and it's
it.
like looking at all of the other ones and be like, they'll never guess. If you couldn't guess the one that we actually did, the rest of them aren't gonna come. But that I believe is gonna do it for this particular episode. We're not gonna do. Do you want to do any predictions this episode, Kdin?
No,
or do you want to wait
I'm
until you see
gonna
a
watch
little
a
bit more?
bunch more, and I'm gonna see if I can get through this particular arc and kind of like refocus my brain because I've been out of it for a little bit, and I got to get back into the swing of the prediction thing for One Piece. I went and I watched Dexter, and I predicted the end of the first season of that like to the exact letter, which was really easy.
That was the best.
After watching the first episode?
It was really easy.
It was awesome. Never seen the show before, but seeing Al react to it in spoilers was so funny.
It's a live action thing that was trying to be edgy at the time. Of course, we know that blankety blank is going to be blankety blank, and then he was eventually going to blank blank blank, and then the sister would end up blank blank, and then the whole thing would be just like, now you're in trouble, but not really. But we'll erase that in the second season. And then we'll throw it on.
Kdin
this
is
other
responsible for all of entertainment ever.
It's
what we've learned.
follow the rules. If you follow the rules and you pay attention to the way people write things, it's really easy to see the way they want you to see the world. And that's not bad. It's just easy to follow, and you shouldn't feel that it's just like, oh, that's negative things. It's like, go for the ride.
We talked about this. We talked about this last episode. We can't get back into this again.
No, we're not going to. But I will say it's like no predictions this time. But kind of leading into what Mark was saying, it's like if you want to, it's like know everybody more. Well, guess what? You already kind of do, because going along with how most arcs and sagas have ended, now you've listened to the episode. Guess what? That means you're a part of the crew. With that comes the responsibility of telling your friends, leaving a comment, following us on Yayo Talk Show, and as well following all of the crew members on their respective social media. So, Mark, where can they find you so they can tag you in things and not me?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Mark B. Donica.
Al, where can they find you on the socials and the medias?
You can find me on Twitter at Al McClellan Jr. ALMCCLELLAND JR. And that's it.
Molly, our captain, where can they find you?
Twitter, you can find me at Teflood, TEHFLOOD, and you can find me on Tumblr at Molly Flood, Molly K Flood, depending on what you're looking for. And we have a Yayo Talk Show Tumblr, so if you want the memes, come take a look.
And you can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. That's Kdin Jensen, KDINJENZEN, or on the Rooster Teeth website, just KDIN there. And you know what? Again, follow us on Twitter and Tumblr. That's at Yayo Talk Show. And of course, please, let me watch the show in one piece.
Talking about
One Piece.